today I will show you how to spawn a grid panel. As you can see, this is the grid, and if you press play, it's going to generate in and the crop will grow, so you can harvest it. There is a sound effect as well, and everything counts to like a little index. And of course you can add the grid. You can have for example 2 by 2. So if you play, now you have 3 by 3 technically. If you want a 2 by 2, there's a 2 by 2. You can add padding, you can add the crop speed, so how fast it will grow, for example 5 seconds. And it has two stages, I think. And you can see you can harvest it as well today. So first things first, create a folder called farming or something like that. And right here we are going to start creating the grid. So we are gonna have actor, and right here, not a folder, sorry. And we are going to have an actor. This will be BP grid, and we don't really need anything. We just need to begin play. So we're gonna hello. Can I not? Cannot delete this. Okay, cool. We're gonna do double loop. I don't really know the concept of it, but basically, I think it's called double loop. You just do a for loop, a basic for loop, inside a for loop. So it's like a, I guess, double loop. So for the first one, don't touch the first index, touch the last one. Promote it into variable. This will be grid width. So how wide the grid will be. And for the second loop, last index promoted, this will be the grid height, just like that. And after that, after the loop, we just spawn actor. Now we just need actor and we need spawn transform. So break or split the spawn transform because we need the location. To get the location from the first loop, we just multiply it. If I can find it, multiply by cell size, what is basically the grid size and padding. If you don't want padding, you don't have to do it. So basically, we are going to create two variables. One is padding, so that is the distance from one grid to the other, and duplicate that, and cell size. What I usually set the cell size to be 90 or 100. I think that's just perfect, like 100 by 100 or 90 by 90. Padding, just set it as 0. So just basically get the cell size and add the padding and plug that into the multiplier. Now you can copy this and paste it here, and this will be for the second loop, and plug in the index because they are basically similar. Now we're just gonna make a vector, so make vector. No, make vector. Or just make vector. Just make vector. Should have this node, and the first loop where we multiplied it, it's going to go into the y. If it does this, just set to the float the output, or return value, I guess, to the float. So y, and the second loop will go into the x. Now you have to add get actors location and add that together. That's how we're gonna get the spawn transform. Pretty simple. And that's it. That's how the grid will work. We just now need to make the slot. So we are gonna have an actor. This will be BP slot. And what I did for the slot is pretty simple. So I did upline. This is up to you how you want it, and static mesh. And I created a material. So this can be like land, for example. And in the material, press 4 and click. Go into the base color and set the color to brown. So it's like a little bit reddish, dark brown. Roughness 1. Yeah, that's about it. Land, like that. For now, we're just gonna spawn this in. So let's go back to the grid and get the BP plot or slot. Always try to adjust location, but always spawn. Okay, so we can actually test it out if we get the grid. We have to set everything instance editable so we can actually see. Just click on the eyes. Grid width, let's do 1 by 1. Padding 5 and cell size should be 90. And it created this, so let's add a padding of 10. Okay, it still created this. 100. Okay, now we can see something. 50. Okay. 25. Okay. 15. Okay, I think 15 is the best one. So it creates like a plot. What I would do, I would try to add it to the corner of this, and it will. No, it doesn't. Middle? Yeah, the middle. So now it will generate. So basically place it in the middle and it will generate the slot here, slot there, slot there, slot there. It is, I think, pretty cool. Now to actually make something grow and stuff, we need a static mesh. So this will be in Discord if you wanna check it out and actually get it for yourself. It's just a basic wheat. Two of the wheat mesh materials. You just have to create the base color of it. Set it like yellowish. Roughness 1. The first one is basically the bottom, or the leaves, I guess. And this should be a little bit darker, so the wheat one, I guess. Just a little bit darker. Once again, the roughness will be 1. So it should look something like this. It's really basic, I would say. I wouldn't really, I guess, I wouldn't use it in game. So let's create a material. Material, we'll call it a folder. Now we need an actor. Oh, we don't need an actor. In the sorts, we're gonna create it. Static mesh. Select the wheat. What I usually do, I just make it a little bit smaller. Try to fit the slot as perfectly as I can to make it just look better. What we're gonna do, we're basically going to manipulate the height of it. So just set it to 0.1. So you will see like these little studs if you play. I mean, if you don't want it, you can just set it to 0. So you don't see the studs and you only see the farmland. But I kind of like it. You can kind of see what kind of crop it is. Yeah, if you add planting, you can just set visibility to this if you want it. So this is very simple. We're just gonna have event begin. We're gonna have a custom event called growing. Yeah, I made a tutorial about this, but you know, here it goes. So we're gonna have a boolean, not boolean, sorry, promote that. It's a variable called growing. We're gonna have a delay. This is how we're gonna set the speed of it. I know it's kind of basic, but I mean, you can use a timer. I kind of tried, but it didn't work. Just set a speed, instance editable, expose it on spawn as well. I set it to 1 for testing purposes. Now get the static mesh. Make vector. No, but relative 3D, I think. Scale. Don't get it. We need get relative scale 3D. Yeah. Now just split it so it looks like this. Now you're gonna get the static mesh, set relative scale 3D. Yeah. Once again, we're gonna split this because the only things that we need is the Z. So we're gonna set for the first one 0.5. These are hard coded. It doesn't need a variable. If only you're gonna change it for some reason. A delay. And the same thing, you can just copy all of this, paste it here. and this will be one. And you can add multiple stages. You can add it, for example, 0.2, 0.5, and then 1. It's quite up to you. And then end of it, it's gonna have set grown to true. Okay, that's basically it. And begin play, we just call the growing. And as you can see, it just grew up. It's that simple to add growing to the game. Of course, you can make it complicated, but there's no reason why. Alright, so now to actually harvest it, I guess, we're gonna use, you don't have to use a component, but I usually do this if you wanna expand it. So we just do AC farming. Go to your first person or third person, whatever you're using, and add this component. Just like that. Okay. So back to the component, open that up. And we're just gonna do left mouse button. We're gonna hard code it. Yeah. And we're gonna do a macro called trace. And right here we're just gonna do a sphere trace by channel. Plug it in. If you wanna make this a little bit professional, you can add a channel. But I am not going to do that. Just gonna get camera manager, get actor location, set that to start. Now we just need get get actor rotation, get vector, forward vector, and that's gonna be multiplied. For the first person, I would set it to 300. For the third person, 700. Radius gonna go into right here input. And now get the actor's location and plug that into the multiply. Basically add both of them and plug that into then. Now let's break this. Let's check this if you actually hit something. If it's true, promote the hit actor and plug everything into the output as well. Okay, let's call this hit actor. Okay, so this is all we're gonna do. Now let's just get the choice and set the radius as, I would say 10. I think 10 is just great. This is basically line choice with a cooler version of it. We're gonna get does implement an interface, and the interface we are actually gonna create. So go to blueprints, interface. This will be, for example, we're just gonna do I interact, and we're gonna have an output of harvested question mark. So it's a boolean. So now let's plug in the interface. Now from the hit actor, I interact message. So if you have never worked with interfaces before, or if you just started Unreal Engine 5, so basically how interfaces work, we gonna get this interface, I guess, plug it into the BP slot, so you can actually do it. Go to class settings. There should be implement interface, implement the farming one. And now the function that we created will show up right here. Interfaces. Now what? Interfaces and interaction. Double click and you have this function. Right here we're gonna add all the logic. Basically just communicates without casting or anything. And after if it's true, we just create a variable called harvested amount. This is for the widget. So we just set it. We add 1. This is still a work in progress. If you know a better way to do this, feel free to show me, I guess. But this is how I did it. So now in the BP slot, into the interact, we're just gonna have a branch. Gonna check if it's growing or not. If it's true, we're gonna set the growing to false. If it's false, we just return. Right here you can play sound and basically get static mesh, get relative 3D, or actually, get relative 3D, set relative scale, except we have to actually split both of them because we only need the Z, and that's gonna be the 0.1 for me, and it will continue to grow. So growing and harvested true. Oh yeah, the static. Okay, so if we play, you can see now we can kind of harvest right when it grows. So let's just set it at this. Let's set the speed a little bit slower. So go to grid. There should be now speed. If it doesn't show, go to slot and set it exposed on spawn. And promote that into a variable. It's unsetable, so I can actually see it. And let's set it to 5, so it doesn't grow instantly. You can randomize it as well, if you want it to. Just do random floating range. For example, let's do minimum as 3, maximum as 10. And it will randomly grow. It will give that realistic, I think, flow into it. As you can see, you can harvest these ones. You cannot harvest these ones because they are not fully grown. So now you can have, for example, delete the speed. You can have the minimum speed and maximum speed. So it just adds a little bit randomness into the game. But that's basically how you harvest it. And for the widget, it's pretty simple. So widget blueprint, widget blueprint, let's call it main HUD. What I usually add, I add the canvas panel and I add an image. That's going to be anchored into the middle, alignment 0.5 by 0.5, and set it to be 10 by 10. I think it was 10 by 10. Yeah, 10 by 10. And as you can see, it's a square, so we're gonna make it as a round box. And now you will have basically a crosshair. So if you go into our AC farming, go to event begin, create a widget, add to viewport, and promote it into a variable as well, called widget blueprint main hub. You will see you have a small little nut. Now we need to add a text, so just add like a text. I would do horizontal box actually, then I would do a text. And you can add an image, but I will not add an image. And just do X, for example. Actually just add nothing. It should be nothing. You can test it out how it's going to look, but just add absolutely nothing. Not zero, just nothing. Set it as a variable, the text box, and the horizontal box, set it as a variable as well. Now we're gonna have a custom event called update text. And we're gonna have a branch. Let's have an input of amount. So how much do we actually harvested? And if it does equal to 0, if it's true, we are gonna get the text box set text. So if it's true, set text and have format text. What this will do, basically gonna have the X in front of it. So X, squiggly brackets, amount, and squiggly brackets, just like that. And it's gonna add like a wildcard basically, and you can plug this into the amount. So what it will do, it's gonna have X in front of it and then amount. So you don't have to set it manually and stuff. And after that, we just, that's basically it. For the false though, right here, we're gonna set the text box as nothing, so it's nothing. That's it. If you do an image, you would probably set the visibility, collapse, and hidden, and blah blah. So now back into the AC farming, and after right here where we added, we get the main HUD, update text box, and plug this in here. So if we play and wait till it grows, bam, we have 1, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So that's basically it. That's how you make a little farming logic, I guess you could say. Really simple for beginners if you like wanna start doing like a little farming game. You can add upgrades as well, but for me, for my project at the moment, it's still a work in progress. As you can see, we have like speed upgrades and other sorts, speed upgrades, quantity,